What's up, guys? The Lazy Goldmaker here. We are in Cataclysm today because we are approaching a new phase with the Firelands. I mean, you can see I'm hanging out in the Molten Front right now. So let's talk a little bit about the goldmaking opportunities coming with the addition of Firelands in a couple of weeks. Now, the first thing to note about raids opening up or new content phases or patches in general in WoW, they increase the player activity. There's going to be more people logging in, doing stuff. That's obviously probably started a bit already. People are preparing their characters for the raid now that they know it's coming in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on when you're watching this. So we've seen some activity, but it's also going to increase in terms of max level stuff. People will be doing the raid. They'll be progressing. They'll be using more consumables on a night by night basis, and just they want to optimize their characters as we go into the raid. Another thing we'd be looking for with new patches is obviously new recipes, because they can be another huge change to the game that has a more significant impact than just like more people playing the game. New best in slot consumable, everyone's going to want that, and it's going to be very, very profitable if you're the first one to get that, or if you can get in on that early. The Firelands patch isn't adding much in terms of gear. Now, we are getting some crafted recipes for various armors from the raid. So there's for tailoring, leatherworking, blacksmithing. Those are what we're getting, but none of them are particularly strong. It's all item level 378, which means that it's quite a bit down from the max level you can get. On the plus side, the recipes are tradable. All are tradable on the auction house, and the items are all BOE. So this is an avenue of making gold. It is, but these are the only ones we're getting. There's no big consumables or enchants as far as I've been able to find, at least. So these recipes, if you're looking at the leatherworking and blacksmithing ones, they require chaos orbs. They also require some old materials, as well as living ember, which is a new material that drops from the bosses in the raid, and is BOE. That one is tradable, at least according to WoW. The chaos orbs are still BOP though, which means that if you don't have 3 chaos orbs, then you won't be able to craft these. You have to run a bunch of heroics to keep selling these on the auction house, which is quite annoying in my opinion. And sort of, it's uncertain if that will be worth the effort. Item level 378 is obviously really good early on in the patch, when that's going to be upgrades for many people, but a lot of people are going to get into heroic, and then they're not going to be super interested in 378 gear. But I mean, down the line, people are going to be gearing alts, so there will be a market, but how expensive it's going to be, it's a little bit uncertain. Now, I like the tailoring pieces a lot more than the other ones, because they require Dreamcloth, which means instead of the Chaos Orbs, so you don't have to run heroics, which is a huge advantage for those of us who are into the lazy side of gold making, right? So if you can get your hands on these, then I think that's a much better opportunity than the leatherworking and blacksmithing. So this is something I would be looking into, because this might give you a substantially higher value for your Dreamcloth than what you can do with it outside of these crafts. So that's sort of the main thing I would do. Now, for the other materials, I don't think there's going to be high enough volume on any of these materials to be like a significant shift to prices, which is something you could also be looking into if there's a new recipe that has a massive use of a material that people didn't use before, and that's going to go up in value. But I don't really see that happening. There's nothing here that I expect to sell at a huge volume. So the last thing you could consider is sort of stocking up on consumables or enchants or all the stuff that people are going to buy a lot more of now that there's a new raid out. Historically, it's been a mixed bag of whether or not that's been profitable. A lot of people have lost gold that way. I'm not going to advise that. But if you are active in a given market, if you're doing gems, or if you're doing enchants, or if you're doing alchemy, then I would be suggesting that if you can find cheap materials, then buy more of it than usual. Like, don't be afraid to buy a couple of more stacks and stock up like 2 to 3 times the normal amount that you keep around, because if the prices aren't going to go up, the sale rates will be much higher. So you will be selling your items significantly faster than you did before the patch, because people are just going to go through them faster and be more active, and people are going to raid more often. They're going to have 2 raid nights instead of 1. They won't be full clearing in 1 raid. They'll be doing 2 nights or 3 nights to progress the fights, and they'll be wiping throughout the entire night, so there are a lot more opportunities. So that's sort of it. I think the main way is going to be just selling into the high end and taking advantage of the higher sale rates on high end stuff. So hopefully you're already active in those markets and have recipes ready, and then you can just keep cranking them out as usual. If you can get your hand on the tailoring recipes, they might be pretty good for just sort of daily or cooldown based Dreamcloth weekly stuff. And if you've been doing Dreamcloth, if you have a lot of Dreamcloth and you're looking for the recipes, or if you don't, you can definitely just save up some Dreamcloth and try to look for the recipes early on. Might be able to get some really high value if you can get a recipe week 1, where this would be an upgrade for mains that some people might be willing to pay a significant amount of money for, just to get that extra boost going into heroic. There are people with obscene amounts of gold from GDKPs and stuff like that. So that's what we can do from Professions. Good luck in Firelands, and we'll see ya.